Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, Oscar nominations have finally dropped, or at least they dropped 2 days ago. I'm just finally getting around to doing a video about it now, but hey, regardless, they have dropped, and it is time to do my favorite thing of the year, acting like all my criticisms and opinions of these movies would have had any effect on this list whatsoever, and I'm going to sit here and give you guys my reactions, snubs, and predictions of each said category, except for animated short film, live action short film, and documentary feature film, just because I didn't see anything in those categories at all. Now, before I get into this list, I do understand that there are people out there that feel like you can't necessarily judge a nominations list such as this one if you have not seen every single movie nominated. I'm here to tell you first and foremost that that is completely wrong. You do not need to see every single movie in the Oscars nominations list to have some sort of opinion whatsoever, because who's gonna get, like, it's just, while I will say it's not impossible to see all these movies, I didn't have an interest in everything that was nominated, and I didn't even know some of these were going to be nominated for anything, so excuse me for missing out on some stuff. But look, I have seen a majority of these films, so I feel like whatever my opinions are have some sort of value. And look, I've even seen people root for one singular movie throughout an entire Oscars show. Like, they didn't see anything else that was presented that night. All they rooted for was one movie, and they thought that movie should win. And I'm going to have the same confidence they had with this. And was that film that they're rooting for, was it La La Land? Yeah, it was La La Land, but hey, that's a damn good movie to root for, so I'm not mad at them at all. But regardless, let's get into this list. Now, with the first category, I'm going to start a little outside of the box here, just because this category is the one that pissed me off the most. I'm going to start with Best Original Score. We have American Fiction, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Now, I'm going to let you guys decide which of those 5 films would be the one to piss me off the most. I'll let you guys take a little second to guess. Oh! That's right, it's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Doo-Doo. How the hell did this movie get here? This is where I have an issue with the Oscars. Like, I know a lot of people have issues with their snubs and things like that, but I'll get to those categories later. As far as I'm concerned with this one, whoever voted in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, come here for a second. I want to show you something. Check this clip out.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Because just what the hell were you thinking? There are so many other scores of films that came out this year that deserve not only at least recognition, but praise. Like, what the hell were you guys doing? Daniel Pemberton from Spider-Verse, he deserves more. What are their names? Christopher Bear and Daniel Rawson from Past Lives, they deserve more. Whoever did The Boy and the Heron score, they deserve more. Whoever, Hans Zimmer could have got a nomination. I mean, guys, y'all making it seem like Best Original Score was a weak category this year. I can guarantee you it was not. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny does not need to be here whatsoever. As far as the other nominees go, I'm not really surprised. I thought, yeah, I mean, those are decent selections for sure, especially Poor Things. But as far as I'm concerned, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny has to go. But those are my thoughts on that category. And the winner for said category, I'm going to go with Poor Things. I think Poor Things is definitely going to take it home. All right, so for our next category, we got Best Picture, and the nominees are American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. Now, only films that I have not seen from the Best Picture category are The Zone of Interest, Anatomy of the Fall, and Maestro. Everything else I have seen, and honestly, I agree with everything else in the category. Now, what do I believe was snubbed? Now, there are 2 answers to this question. What do I believe was snubbed? My personal answer, which is the one that literally comes from deep down inside my heart, my personal answer with little reasoning whatsoever, or there's a lot of reasoning, but one that I'm kind of like not surprised it didn't get nominated for, Across the Spider-Verse. I thought that was my #1 film of the year, and I thought it would at least get nominated for more than one category, because I thought that movie broke a lot of barriers as far as people saying animation is not film, blah, blah, blah. That movie really proved a lot of people wrong, but to each their own. But the other movie that I will go to bat for, that I will definitely die on a hill saying it should have been nominated for Best Picture, especially with the amount of movies that they let into this category in the first place, my other snub is Iron Claw. Iron Claw got severely disrespected throughout the entire nominations season. Like every show, every award show disrespected the hell out of Iron Claw, disrespected the hell out of Sean Durkin, disrespected the hell out of Zac Efron, disrespected the hell out of Jeremy Allen White. I mean, there were robberies done to Iron Claw, and it's not okay. It is not. Iron Claw 1000% deserves to be in the Best Picture category. Like I said, I haven't seen Maestro, have not seen Anatomy of the Fall, have not seen Zones of Interest. Now, I've heard that Zone of Interest and Anatomy of the Fall are really good. Maestro, I've honestly heard mixed things. I've heard that, you know, it's good performances, but as far as the movie goes, it's not like as amazing as some people are saying. I have not seen it for myself, but personally, Iron Claw deserves to be here somewhere. While I have not seen those other films, I'm not going to sit up here and act like the impact that Iron Claw not only had on me, but on a lot of people that have saw it, that impact should not just be overlooked like that and not go without some sort of recognition or nomination. I just think that is a complete just miss on the Academy's behalf. But we are dealing with the movies we're dealing with here anyway, so those are my snubs. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have one more snub that I didn't even realize was able to be nominated this year. All of Us Strangers. Now, I saw this movie in 2024, so if you see this movie later on in my Best of 2024 list, it's because I saw the movie in 2024. I didn't realize it had a late 2023 release date, but All of Us Strangers should have been nominated too, as far as I'm concerned, because that movie is absolutely gut-wrenchingly heartbreaking. It's the same as Iron Claw. That movie had me bawling in tears. I had not stopped thinking about it since I left the theater. All of Us Strangers is an absolutely terrific film. It's absolutely amazing. If you have not seen Iron Claw, Spider-Verse, or All of Us Strangers, please watch those movies and understand that those movies deserved so much more from these Best Picture nominations. But for the winner of Best Picture nomination, I'm going to go with Oppenheimer. I think that's definitely the favorite. Personally, no, I was going to say I'd like to see Poor Things or Holdovers take it, but I think Oppenheimer is going to be the one to take it this year, just because that was just a substantial event that just feels like it needs to be praised for everything. And Nolan's probably going to run away with a lot of these nominations. So I'm going with Oppenheimer for Best Picture. All right, so next up we got the Best Actor category, and the nominees are Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. Now, my general thoughts on that category. See, here's my thing. I haven't seen Rustin and I have not seen Maestro, so I don't necessarily have too much to say about those films. I will say I'm surprised. Although Coleman Domingo is a fantastic actor, I'm surprised to see him there for Rustin. That's just due to the fact that I never heard of that movie until I saw these nominations. But as far as Bradley Cooper's Maestro, like I said, I haven't seen the movie. But personally, I don't think his performance was better than Zac Efron's, because I think that Zac Efron 100% should have been nominated for a Best Actor nod right here. So that's one of my snubs for sure. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's my only snub. A lot of people are talking about Leonardo DiCaprio being snubbed from this category, but I'm going to give sort of a hot take, or at least a take of my own that I felt like was probably be pretty unpopular. I don't think Leo should have been nominated for Best Actor this year. While his performance in Killers of the Flower Moon was absolutely spectacular, this is a strong category as well. And personally, after finishing Killers of the Flower Moon, I only seen it once, because 3 hours and 30 minutes, it's a lot to take. That's a lot to take out of your day to watch that movie again. But Leonardo DiCaprio gave a great performance. I just personally left that theater with the feeling that I hope the Academy does not just give awards to this movie just because Scorsese and Leo and Robert De Niro's names are attached to this project. I hope they actually allow these guys to earn these nominations, and I'm glad Leo did not get nominated for this, because while he did very good, is it his best performance, which isn't necessarily what the Oscars are based off of, if this is your best performance. But I'm just like, if I were to go back and look at all of Leonardo DiCaprio's performances, he didn't even win for Wolf of Wall Street, so which was a crime within itself. But I personally just didn't think that Leo should have been nominated for this one. Like, he did a great job in the movie, but there were just a lot of other actors that definitely outdid you. Or, I'm sorry, there were a lot. I don't want to be too disrespectful with that statement. There were other actors that deserved it more. Ain't too many actors out there that can outdo Leonardo DiCaprio. But Jeffrey Wright, love to see him here. Cillian Murphy, love to see him here. Paul Giamatti, that is the favorite for me personally. I am going to be picking. I'm going to say that for a winner, I'm picking Paul Giamatti. I think Cillian Murphy probably might get it, but due to the fact that Paul Giamatti did win Best Actor at one of the award shows, not necessarily sure which it is, I do think that does speak to the fact that there is a chance for him to win it. So my personal pick, I'm going to go with Paul Giamatti. I think Cillian Murphy wins, but I want Giamatti to win. I'm going to stand on it. Paul Giamatti. That's the guy I think is winning this category. All right, so for the Best Actress category, our nominees are Annette Bening for Nyad, Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of the Fall, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, Emma Stone for Poor Things. Now, kind of feel out of the loop on this one because I've only seen 2 of these films. I've only seen Poor Things and Killers of the Flower Moon. Never heard of Nyad, have not seen Anatomy of the Fall yet, and have not seen Maestro, but I know Carey Mulligan's work, and I know she probably 100% or 1,000% deserves to be there. Now, before I get into the actual nominees themselves, I want to talk about those that were not nominated, because there seems to be a more impressive list of the women that missed out on the Best Actress category rather than the ones that actually got nominated. I mean, you have women like Margot Robbie, for instance, but I'll talk about her in a second. You have Margot Robbie, Fantasia, Natalie Portman, or Julianne Moore, whoever was the lead actress in that film, Greta Lee, Penelope Cruz, I mean, Mara Tierney. There are a lot of robberies there, guys. So for those who are like going to bat for Margot, saying she should have got nominated, she did great in Barbie. She did a great job. But let's be real here, guys. This category is way too strong to have Margot Robbie for Barbie in here. And for those that are going to complain that Ryan Gosling is in the category of Ken, I have an argument for you once I get to that category. But as far as this one here, Margot Robbie did a great job. But please understand that, like I said, I didn't say this, but please understand, like, the people that have been snubbed out of these lists, or essentially the movies that we feel like missed the list or got snubbed, that should be more of a testament to how amazing the year of 2023 was. And we know how the Academy is, guys. The Academy is going to Academy every year. It happens. They're going to have their favorites. That's personally why I think Bradley Cooper's in here so much and Maestro's in here so much. But like I said, I have not seen that movie. But that's why I think Killers of the Flower Moon's getting a lot of, praise that it necessarily shouldn't get, although it's a great movie. It's kind of overhyped in my opinion, just because it's got Scorsese's name attached to it. But look, the Academy is going to Academy, and while Margot Robbie definitely deserves some recognition for her role, which I think she's gotten, because I'm pretty sure she was at least considered for Best Actress, this is just too strong of a category. Like I said, there are so many other women that honestly could have got nominated that didn't, so that's really just a testament to how strong this category was. But as far as the actual actresses themselves that are in this, like I said, I've only seen Poor Things and Killers of the Flower Moon, which personally, I think it's only a race between those two. While Carey Mulligan probably does have something to say about that, I think it's really a race between Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone. And I know Lily Gladstone is definitely the popular pick. My favorite performance between the two was definitely Emma Stone. So for a winner, I'm picking Emma Stone personally. But I do think Lily Gladstone, if she wins, deserves it 100%. Both of these women deserve it, honestly. But I think it's a 2-woman race. Emma Stone, Lily Gladstone. And I think Emma's coming away with it. All right, so for Best Supporting Actor, the nominees are Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. as Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling as Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. And all I can say is well done, boys. Well done. I am proud of everyone who got nominated in this category. Now, look, before I get to my overall thoughts on the category itself, I do want to discuss Ryan Gosling for being nominated. Now, First and foremost, to everybody who was upset that Ryan Gosling got nominated, quote unquote, over Margot Robbie, first and foremost, they are in 2 different categories. That was going to happen regardless, or essentially that's just how that works. They are not in the same category, so there's no reason to be upset that one person got nominated over the other in two categories that have nothing to do with each other. That's just not how the world works. Two, look, as good as Margot was in that movie, I'm gonna need y'all to stop acting like Ryan Gosling's Ken wasn't the shit. Can we just stop? Can we just stop acting like Ryan Gosling did not do everything in his power to steal the show every time he came on screen in Barbie? I mean, please, guys, let's be real. Now, I understand that I'm Just Ken probably shouldn't have won in whatever award show that was, maybe a few weeks ago or like 8 weeks ago, but I'm Just Ken is still a phenomenal ass song. Ryan Gosling is a tremendous ass actor, and Ken was a great ass character, man. I mean, Ryan Gosling did his thing with Ken. Like, I am not mad at him being here whatsoever. He absolutely he ripped it. He ripped it. I absolutely loved Ryan Gosling as Ken in this film here. Now, look, as far as the other actors go, I think they are much well-deserved. Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things was tremendous. Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer was astounding. I think we all know he is the more likely favorite in this category, possibly the runaway. Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon, I thought he was absolutely... I thought Robert De Niro was the best actor in Killers of the Flower Moon. Like, that's why I'm not necessarily so mad at Leo not getting a nomination, because I'm like, the best actor in that film, or the best character, whatever, best performance, however you want to categorize it, it was Robert De Niro for sure. Now, the biggest surprise in that category for me is Sterling K. Brown in American Fiction. But when I tell you, your heart will actually, if you've seen American Fiction and you came across this nomination, or you came across his name on this list of nominees, your heart just smiled. It jumped a little bit for joy, because he was so good in that movie. But it was one of those performances that you didn't even think like, oh, he can get nominated for this. He was that good. But he was that good in the movie to where he shows up on this list and you're like, wow. I'm actually thoroughly surprised and actually very happy for Sterling K. Brown, because he actually did much better than I thought he was going to do. Now, as far as the snubs in this category, breaks my heart, because two guys I really were rooting for to make this category: Dominic Sessa and Jeremy Allen White. A lot of people are also bringing up Charles Melton as well, which he definitely deserved. This is a stat category as well. He definitely deserved. I'll say he definitely deserves some recognition. Did he deserve to get nominated? I mean, look, these are some heavy hitters we're talking about here. Like, Dominic Sessa didn't even get nominated for The Holdovers, and maybe it's because it's a first-timers thing, because that was his first time in a feature film. But Dominic Sessa gave a very tremendous performance as well. Jeremy Allen White in Iron Claw gave a fantastic performance as well. So, I like I said, I would honestly take the snubs this year, except for Indiana Jones. I would take these snubs this year as a testament as to how great of a year 2023 was. Because as much as Charles Melton deserved it, it's like, I personally can't bring myself to say he deserved it more than Sterling K. Brown, because if you've seen American Fiction, you'll understand Sterling K. Brown was, in my opinion, Sterling K. Brown was the best part of that damn movie, but that's just to each their own. But look, Charles Melton, Dominic Sessa, and Jeremy Allen White were snubbed, and it's a damn shame, but the actors in this category are very well deserving of their nominations. And for the winner, well, personally, like I said, the runaway and the favorite is probably Robert Downey Jr. I wouldn't necessarily mind seeing Mark Ruffalo possibly steal it from under Robert Downey Jr., but we all know, look, we all know that scene in Oppenheimer that is 1000% going to get this man the nomination. Ain't no point. I'm sorry, not the nomination, but the win. Ain't no point even arguing with it. It's going to be Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, the atomic bomb. He wanted to be the man who moved the earth. He talks about putting the nuclear genie back in the bottle. Well, I'm here to tell you that I know. J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Okay, so for Best Supporting Actress, we have Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, America Ferrera in Barbie, Jodie Foster in Nyad, and Davine Joy Randolph in The Holdovers. Now, where to begin with this category? Because I'll probably start with the snubs just to get those out the way. Like I said, I don't know who was the lead and who was the co in May December. I'm pretty sure Natalie Portman was the lead and Julianne Moore was the co. So one snub for sure in this category is Julianne Moore, because May December, if you've seen May December, you understand where I'm coming from completely. Julianne Moore was absolutely shocking. Like, she was bone chilling type shocking. Like, she was very good in that film. But the biggest snub, I think, for this category by far, because I've never seen Naiad, but I've seen the rest of these films. Rachel McAdams in Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret. Rachel McAdams in Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret delivered a monologue that 1,000% should have got her a nomination. Like, Rachel McAdams' performance in the film was not only tremendous, but she gave a monologue, and that monologue alone should have got her nominated. And for those who are trying to say that monologues don't necessarily get you nominations, well, let's take a look at someone on this list here that's gotten a lot of traction ever since the nominations list were announced. America Ferrera for Barbie. And I'm not going to be one of the ones to sit here and say she doesn't deserve that nomination, because the monologue that she gave in Barbie about how hard it is to be a woman on a day-to-day basis, to me, was probably like the second best part of Barbie. And the first part is Ken. My favorite part of Barbie is Ken, 1,000%. Maybe you can say it's because I'm a guy. I don't really care. It is what it is. But the second best part of that movie for me was America Ferrera's monologue on how hard it is to be a woman on a day-to-day basis. That's literally why she's here in the category, and a lot of people are up in arms. While yes, her performance as a whole isn't necessarily Oscar worthy, that monologue she gives is 1,000% Oscar worthy. And I'll even compare it to a nomination that happened last year, I believe, on supporting actors, with Judd Hirsch getting nominated for The Fabelmans. He was literally in the film for like 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes were so impactful, and some of the most honestly heartwarming parts of The Fabelmans that really made you feel inspired and made you feel something so emotional and made you empathize even more with the film itself. That's what America Ferrera's monologue does in Barbie. America Ferrera's monologue makes you empathize with the film a little bit more. It makes you understand where these women are coming from. It makes you understand how hard it is and what the actual premise of the film is. It really brings to light a lot of things that maybe was going over some people's heads throughout the film, and America Ferrera delivered it so well. I'm pretty sure there's not a person in the world, well, I'm pretty sure there is, but it'd be very hard for you to listen to a monologue like this and not feel some sort of something for women and how tough it is on them on a daily basis. That's why America Ferrera is here, and I see a lot of people comparing her nomination to Jamie Lee Curtis's win, I think last year for Best Supporting Actress against Stephanie Hugh. They are not the same, because one, America Ferrera is not going to win this category. She's just got nominated. She's not going to win, so she should not be compared to Jamie Lee Curtis whatsoever. Like that, those two shouldn't even be comparable. Because like I said, Jamie Lee Curtis won. America Ferrera only got nominated. She's not winning this category. Now, if she won this category, yes, we could probably compare it to the Jamie Lee Curtis win of 2022, or 2023, I should say, whatever, however that works. Everything, Jamie Lee Curtis's win for Everything Everywhere All at Once, we can only compare that to America Ferrera if she wins this category, but she's not going to, because this is a stat category as well. Now, as far as who I think is going to win the category, I think it's going to be Davine Joy Randolph from The Holdovers, because if you've seen that movie, then you understand that that woman gave an absolutely just translucent performance. Like one that you, even if you can't necessarily relate to the pain that that woman is going through throughout the entire film, or going through when you first meet her character, you absolutely feel for her throughout the film. And she's giving a tremendous performance throughout. So I think Davine Joy Randolph is definitely going to be the one to take it home. At least I hope so. I'm rooting for you, girl. All right, and so for Best Director, our nominees are Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, Justine Triet for Anatomy of the Fall. I don't know, and those are all the nominees. But basically, my general thoughts on that category, like I said, I have not seen Anatomy of the Fall or Zone of Interest. Heard great things about them. Have not seen those movies whatsoever, but Nolan does not surprise me whatsoever. Excuse me. Yorgos Lanthimos definitely does not surprise me whatsoever. Martin Scorsese doesn't surprise me whatsoever, but this is kind of going into my Academy spiel, just because Personally, I think Sean Durkin for Iron Claw, like there's a lot of Iron Claw praise in here in this video because I truly believe that that movie got robbed 1000%, and you can blame A24 for their poor marketing. I'm going to blame them and just honestly whoever else I can for this movie just not getting any recognition whatsoever. But Sean Durkin for Iron Claw 1000% should have been nominated. Do I think he should have been nominated over Scorsese? Not necessarily, because like I said, I haven't seen the other two films, Zone of Interest or Anatomy of the Fall. But it's kind of hard to judge because I don't necessarily I don't know who Sean Durkin would take out of this category. I mean, a lot of people are saying Justine Triet was the surprise pick in this film for Anatomy of the Fall, but I've actually heard a lot of great things about that film. So personally, I mean, I think either Killers of the Flower Moon or Zone of Interest can skedaddle, and we can make some room for Sean Durkin's Iron Claw because the directing in that movie was absolutely tremendous. Personally, I think Celine Song should have got nominated as well, but I knew that was a long shot for Past Lives. I wanted her to get nominated. I thought that was a pretty big long shot there. And another snub that a lot of people are talking about, Greta Gerwig. Honestly, my thing with Greta Gerwig, see, with the Margot Robbie situation, it's kind of like that category was way too stacked for you guys to be complaining about about Margot Robbie not making it, because there are a lot of women that got robbed in that category. But as far as this one goes, I feel like Greta kind of did get robbed, because for Barbie to get nominated for Best Picture and for Barbie to be as big as it was and the kind of monumentous event it felt like, especially going up against Oppenheimer, I felt like Greta Gerwig could have got nominated. I don't think that's like far-fetched to say. I think Greta Gerwig pretty much could have deserved a nomination here. I mean, I'm kind of only on the fence about it because it's like, you know, there are other directors here that, you know, probably, well, one, they have a much longer tenure with the Academy, and, you know, they're just here because, you know, of a namesake, Scorsese. But while Killers of the Flower Moon was great, it's just, for me, it's kind of just overhyped. And if it was 40 minutes shorter, it's a perfect movie in my opinion. If it's 40 minutes shorter, but that movie being that 40 minutes that makes it as long as that movie as it already is, it just makes it kind of painful to sit through. But as far as Greta Gerwig not being nominated here, I think she could have got nominated. Who would I remove? I have no answer to that question. I have no answer to who I would have removed from this category to put Greta Gerwig in, but I don't think it's far-fetched to say she should have got nominated here, just because of how big Barbie was. And I understand that doesn't necessarily have anything directly related to do with, you know, directing and things like that. But I mean, you've seen Barbie. Barbie was an absolute smash hit and a lot better than many of us thought it was going to be. And a lot of that is all credit to Greta Gerwig. Like, yes, Ken brought it. Yes, America Ferrera, Margot Robbie, they all brought it and they did a great job. But Greta Gerwig is the one that brought that entire universe to life. So she deserves some credit for that. I think she probably should have been nominated, but who would I take off? I have no idea. But as far as a winner for this category, it's Chris Nolan. It's gonna be Chris Nolan. Like, ain't no point in even trying to argue it. Chris Nolan got this one in the bag. All right, so international feature film. This is gonna be kind of quick because I've only seen one of these movies. So, Lo Capitano from Italy, Perfect Days in Japan, Society of the Snow in Spain, Teacher's Lounge in Germany, and The Zone of Interest in the United Kingdom. My pick is going to be Society of the Snow because that movie is absolutely fantastic. If you have not seen it, it's on Netflix. Please be sure to check it out. It's one of the best survival films out. It's not my personal favorite, but it's definitely one of the best survival films I've ever seen. But I've only seen one of those movies, and so I'm just going to pick Society of the Snow because I have nothing else to go off of. All right, and for animated feature film, the nominees are Elemental, Boy and the Heron, Nimona, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Academy, I am begging you. Please, 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 please. Please, 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 please let Spider-Man win. Please let Spider-Man win. When Boy and the Heron, I'm pretty sure this was at either the Emmys. Yeah, I think this was at the Emmys where this happened, but Boy and the Heron ended up winning Best Animated Feature over Spider-Verse, which Boy and the Heron is a good movie, but please, 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 please. Oscars, please, please. Just let it get one. It's only nominated in one category. Please let it get the win. Please. Spider-Verse deserves this. Us Spider-Verse fans need this. Please. If you cannot already tell, I'm just really rooting for Spider-Verse at this point. Who do I believe was snubbed from this category? I think it was kind of a long shot to get it in here, but personally, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I would say that's definitely a snub. I think it could have been here over. The only movie I haven't seen in this category is Robot Dreams. I think Elemental could have been taken out for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because I think that movie was a lot better. But, I mean, it is what it is. Elemental was still actually a very good movie, and I'm glad it actually got the respect that it deserved, because at first it was bombing at the box office. Then people realized it's an actually really tremendous rom-com. It's really good, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles deserve to be here. But as far as who I'm picking as the winner, please, 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 Spider-Verse. Please, Spider-Verse. Like, I'm telling you, man, like, there's no way you can sit here and watch a movie like that and not think it deserves the best animated movie of the year. Like, please. All the different animation styles, all the different graphics, the sound designs, the mixtures, the blends in art, animation form, like that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is literally animation porn. I mean, it's not hentai, like, for real, but it's like animation porn. Which is hentai, but it's not. But look, regardless, it's just great to watch. It's phenomenal. The art is absolutely out of this world in that movie. Please, Spider-Verse, please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. All right, and so for Best Adapted Screenplay, nominees are American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Zone of Interest. I don't really have much to say about the adapted screenplay. Honestly, I think all these movies deserve it. I have not seen Zone of Interest, but the rest of these movies for adapted screenplay definitely deserve to be here. As far as who I think's going to win, personally, I'd like to see American Fiction run away with this one, only because it was very surprising about how much I liked that movie. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and honestly, it's truly American Fiction is one of the biggest surprises of the year, and I'm glad to see it get so much love on the Oscars nominations list, because it definitely deserves it. I'm personally hoping that American Fiction gets the win, but it's either, personally, I feel like we're either going with Poor Things or Barbie here. I think Barbie might end up winning adapted screenplay, but I'm hoping that it's Anatomy of the Fall or Poor Things. Kind of just going to, I'm sorry, not Anatomy of the Fall. American Fiction or Poor Things. I'm just going to kind of pick those two and cheat for that one, just because I don't know which one. I don't know. I can't necessarily pick a single one, but I think either one of those two are going to win. All right, and the nominees for Best Original Screenplay are Anatomy of the Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May, December, and Past Lives. And as far as I'm concerned, I think The Holdovers should run away with this category. The Holdovers should absolutely run away with this category. I think Past Lives, honestly, all these movies have a shot. The only ones I haven't seen are Maestro and Anatomy of the Fall. It would be nice to see May, December get some sort of win that night, since all the actors and actresses in the film got robbed. But, I mean, I think Past Lives or The Holdovers definitely have a chokehold or a stronghold on this category itself, and I think The Holdovers is the one that takes it home. So let's go, Paul Giamatti. All right, so for Best Visual Effects, the nominees are Creator, Godzilla Minus One, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Napoleon. And look, my answer to this one is, or my answer to who's going to win this one, as long as it ain't Napoleon. Napoleon don't deserve, and I know that's incorrect grammar, but I do not care. Napoleon don't deserve any nominations whatsoever. That movie does not, I don't care. That movie does not deserve to be touching an Oscars nomination list, because it stinks. It stinks horrendously.
He stinks, and I don't like him.
That's how I feel about Napoleon. But look, regardless, honestly, I'm just glad to see Creator get some love here for this category, or honestly get some love at all, because apparently I'm the only person that really enjoyed that movie. I really enjoyed The Creator, and I saw everybody else like reviews on it, and a lot of people were just calling it lazy, and honestly just some other stuff that I kind of didn't agree with, but I'm glad to see Creator get some love here. And Personally, it's very easy who's going to run away with this category. It's Godzilla Minus One. Due to the fact that Godzilla Minus One had the lowest budget and had the most craziest visual effects on that budget, yeah, Godzilla Minus One is probably going to run away with this one. And it deserves it 100%. Actually, 1,000%. Let's go Godzilla. Alright, so next up we got Best Original Song, and the nominees are It Never Went Away from American Symphony, I'm Just Ken from Barbie, What Was I Made For from Barbie, The Fire Inside from Flaming Hot, and Wazi Wazi, or Wazi Hazi, A Song for My People from The Killers of the Flower Moon. Heard all of these songs, have not seen all these movies. Only ones I haven't seen is American Symphony and Flaming Hot, but the obvious winner here, in my opinion, should be What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish. That song, every time, gets me to start shedding tears. That song is so powerful, and Billie is just so harmonic and just symphonic, if that's a word, on that track there, and I think she absolutely wholeheartedly deserves the win here. Now, I understand that somebody already made the mistake of giving I'm Just Ken the win, so we don't necessarily have to do that again, but please, Billie Eilish, or please, Academy, give it to Billie Eilish, because she deserves it. Alright, next up for Best Cinematography, our nominees are El Conde, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Now, my general thoughts on this category are, I feel like the Best Cinematography category this year is kind of weak, just either due to the fact that the Academy did not watch a lot of movies this year, or maybe they just watched it on a very small screen and missed out how beautiful a lot of these movies actually are. Like, for example, I think The Holdovers should have got nominated for Best Cinematography because it literally gives you the old-timey Christmas classic kind of feel throughout the entirety of the film, and that's a huge reason the biggest reason or the biggest factor in that is the fact that the movie just looks like an old school 1950s movie, and or 1960s or whenever it was set, and it just looks so beautiful. And I just thought it made you just kind of go back to a time once before. It just makes you feel like you've been placed somewhere else, and I love the cinematography of that movie. I thought All of Us Strangers could have been nominated for this one. Like, for those that don't necessarily think like the plot is so strong of All of Us Strangers, it is a gorgeous movie with a lot of gorgeous scenery, a lot of gorgeous shots, a lot of beautiful color schemes. All of Us Strangers got robbed here for sure. I like Best Cinematography, 1000%. This movie should have been considered. And Iron Claw. Iron Claw is another movie that I think had a lot of beautiful cinematography and beautiful shots throughout the film that 100% should have got it some recognition in this category. I don't know what El Conde is, but it is what it is. I'm not necessarily going to say it doesn't deserve to be here because I haven't seen it, but I don't think that movie was a lot more beautiful than The Holdovers, All of Us Strangers, or Iron Claw. But with that being said, as far as cinematography goes, I think Poor Things should win. Do I think it's going to win? Probably not. Oppenheimer might take it away. But personally, Poor Things is a gorgeous movie. So I'm really rooting for Poor Things at that point. And with the rest of these categories, I don't necessarily have like a big opinion on movies that got snubbed or, the movies that got nominated in general. So kind of just going to run through these and give you guys my winners. So first and foremost, we got costume design, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. What movie do I think could probably be here over Napoleon? Hunger Games. Hunger Games, Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm just going to make that a quick observation. What do I think wins? Poor Things and Barbie, as long as it ain't Napoleon. Oh, I'm sorry, Poor Things or Barbie. But personally, I'm gonna go with Poor Things just because the costumes are a bit more wackier and crazier. And as long as Napoleon doesn't win, I'm good. Now, for film editing, we have Anatomy of the Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. It's Oppenheimer. It's Oppenheimer, and you only need to see one scene in that film to understand why it deserves best editing, and it'll get it immediately. But it's Oppenheimer. It runs away with it. Next category is sound. So you have The Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, and Zone of Interest. I'm actually glad to see Mission Impossible in this one because, there's a lot of cool sounds going on in that film. I know Oppenheimer's going to win it, but I wanted to go against the grain and say the creator, just because I'm glad to see again the creator get some sort of recognition for something. And personally, I just want to be different. And in case the creator does win, I can say I said it. So I'm gonna pick the creator for that one. Production design. We have Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. And personally, with this category, as long as Napoleon does not win, I could care less. I have no idea who I'm going to pick for this one. So I'm just going to say probably Oppenheimer. Probably just going to say, actually, production design? No, I'm going to say Poor Things. Poor Things or Barbie again. Yeah, I think Poor Things or Barbie deserves that one. And then makeup and hairstyling, last but not least, we have Golda, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow. I'm going to go with Poor Things once again. I'm hoping that runs away with a lot of these nominations, just because, well, makeup and hairstyling, I mean, just you can look at the trailer of Poor Things and understand why makeup and hairstyling might have to go to them. But look, those are all the nominations. And guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below what some of your snubs were. How were your overall feelings about the list of nominations this year? Look, like I said, guys, sometimes, man, we're just gonna have to come to terms with the Academy is just gonna Academy. Sometimes they just pick movies and performances that just fit what their notion of film is, and they're not real. And hopefully one day they are able to expand outside of their very just cramped up box and really just open their mind to what film actually is. And hopefully they can stop, being stuck in their old ways. But look, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on the overall nominations were. Who do you guys think are taking most of these awards home? Let me know some of your snubs. Let me know some of your upset picks. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and so much more. Thank you so much for watching. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.